All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Ba'ashem Kodesh, the blondness to the elders and apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the elect wishing this word in truth and in sincerity, with the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh is the name of His only begotten Son. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh, whom dwelling at the called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I want to go straight into this lesson concerning financial instability is on the rise. And as I've been doing video since of late on the mass job losses taking place over there in America, the mass laying off, a lot of people, they are not in a very good place, right now in this economical strain that is taking place right around the world. And that is going to cause a lot of agitation from individuals around the world. So gradually, you're going to have uproar of the people in the world, but right now, we're just putting the scope over there on Mr. Babylon the Great, which is America, So this is Isaiah 19, verse 14. And Yahweh had mingled the perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. And Egypt right there is talking about America. When you read in Revelation, it made mention of a place upon the earth which is referred to as spiritual Egypt and Sodom. And thus, by process of elimination, it is easy, if you're spiritual, to see that this is talking about America through the philosophies and their way of life that they push upon the world, because even out here in Jamaica, they give a big grant to one of the colleges to push their LGBTQ agenda. I want to say UWE, brothers can correct me on the comment board, but it's supposed to be UWE. I did a video on it, I want to say a year back. But this is the ideology that they push under the guise of democracy. Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or the tail, branch or the rush may do. And we're in the time in which a lot of people is about to lose their jobs. And without jobs, you're not going to have any money to spend to provide for your family. And it's already straining to provide in this economy in which you have inflation, the money is being devalued at a rapid rate, But as I continually said, that unto the simple, they don't realize what's going on because they have a lot of bread and circuses to distract them, But reality is gonna knock them straight in the face very soon. So I want to run this clip, This is Tammy Bites. She bring out a lot of information concerning store closures, job losses, how much people are get laid off. So this is dangerous. Walmart, Target, Trader Joe's affected. So we're gonna see what she go bring out concerning these things,
To it. Walgreens is closing approximately 1,200 stores across the United States as the pharmacy chain struggles with slumping consumer spending. I also heard it was around 1,500, but I don't know, give or take. And then
So did you hear that? Slumping consumer spending, meaning consumers are spending less. People have less money to spend, And already in the scriptures, I'm going to go back to that clip, but already in the scriptures, when I read Haggai 1 verse 5, now therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. That going into a financial instability, So you don't have enough money to buy what you truly need. Out here in Jamaica, you have a popular artist by the name of Assassin, Agent Sasko. When you say hand to mouth, you see me? As you get the money, it done. And you feel like next month now go come. Because of the little money we get paid month end or fortnightly or weekly. By weekend, you struggle just even to go back to work. That represents what the bag with holes. And just imagine when you don't have a job, how you going to provide? And as the elder Yasha always say, when you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't have any food to eat, that is the time when reality is gonna struck you, and all hell is about to break loose, because we're living in some chaotic times in which at any time, this bubble can burst, The economy can crash, and it's gonna crash way worse than 2008, 1929, It's gonna be way worse, And this crash is gonna be engineered by the global elite. So going back to the clip.
And then I have to add to this story. The closures will occur within the next 3 years, starting with 500 stores being shuttered in fiscal year 2025. So we're not even there yet. Where are we at? October? No, we're at October. We're almost there. Walgreens announced Tuesday in an earnings report the company had confirmed plans in June to USA Today to close unprofitable stores. I did bring y'all that, but it did not get a lot of views. But had not disclosed how many locations would be affected. The move is part of a multi-year cost-cutting program under CEO Tim Wentworth, who took on the job last year. In a statement, Wentworth reiterated the company's commitment to focusing on improving its core business. Now, Walgreens, along with some other pharmacies, but I can only speak for Walgreens because that's the pharmacy that I am using, but it's like you don't know where to go because CVS has already started closing 900 stores, a few years ago, and they're still doing it, and Walgreens as well, but now they're adding to it. So it's almost, you got to go online and get your medications, or to these companies that, you might not know what you're getting. Okay, so the move is part of a multi-year, cost-cutting program under CEO Tim Wentworth, who took on the job last year. In a statement, Wentworth reiterated the company's commitment. I already said all that. This turnaround will take time, but we are confident it will yield significant financial and consumer benefits over the long term. Walgreens to closed 13% of the stores in U.S. While it's not immediately clear which of the 1,200 stores Walgreens is planning on closing, the move would impact about 13% of the more than 8,700 stores that were open in the U.S. as of August 31st last year. The announcement comes amid an improving but still challenging fiscal 2024 year. And I get it. You got to do what you got to do to save your company. But they have been struggling for a while, you guys. I can't tell you how many times I have gone to Walgreens and the sign is up saying we are closed. The rest of the store is open, but the pharmacy part is closed. Either they're out of certain medications or they don't have enough pharmacists there. And so they just don't open up. While Walgreens exceeds its target of slashing $1 billion in costs in the last fiscal year, the chain reported $3 billion loss last quarter, mostly due to goodwill impairment charges related to a home care provider called CareCentrix. Still, the chain's revenue in the last fiscal year rose more than 6%. Fourth quarter sales reached $29.5 billion and increased by 6.5% from the same quarter a year ago. Drugstore chains struggle with declining sales. News of impending closures come as Walgreens and other drugstore chains struggle to keep up with the competition from Amazon, as well as declining drug reimbursement rates from the middleman for filling prescriptions. CVS has laid off thousands of corporate and other employees since 2023 while dealing with continued disruptions, regulatory pressure.
As you even mentioned of laying off, when you hear about store closure, that is mass job losses, yo. And she just made mention of laying off. But
pressures and evolving customer needs. The spokesperson says since declaring bankruptcy about a year ago, Rite Aid has closed hundreds of stores across the U.S. But drugstores aren't the only businesses facing declining sales amid rising prices and downturn in consumer spending rather. The Starship Super Heavy Booster is grappled. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. We won't talk about that. Okay, they said that True Value became the latest chain to file for bankruptcy since the C-19 pandemic, joining Ella Flooring, Red Lobster, Bed Bath & Beyond, Big Lots, which has since shuttered hundreds of stores. So that's what's happening. They also have Hooters, Walgreens, Sears, Kmart, JCPenney's, and even Disney stores among those that have shuttered stores since 2020. So the big story is, let me take a sip. The big story is all of these stores, Walmart, where my mouse at? Walmart, Target, Trader Joe's, and more. There is a massive recall that is happening right now. So just me saying recall, I already know the video's not going to get out. So definitely hit that like button so it forces YouTube to share this information. They will share gossip, they will share everything else. But when it comes to my channel, they don't want to share this stuff. That's why I'm always asking y'all to hit that like button to force them.
so you see, as the scripture said, the Lord had mingled that perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt. This is part of it, yo. Let me read back that one more time. In Isaiah 19, verse 14, it said, Yahweh had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. And that's why so much store closures, yo, company closing. But I got another clip for you. Where it is? What? You know, farm go feeding the squirrel and try on the stay, sir. Slack, you bear me.
I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Breaking news, as of this morning, Tuesday, October 1st, 45,000 union port workers have gone on strike for the first time since 1977. Now, that's impacted 36 different ports, all the way from Maine, all the way down to Houston, Texas. Now, these workers only wanted a $5 an hour wage increase every year for 6 years and a total ban on automation. They didn't get that. As a result of the failed negotiations, this strike is going to impact millions and millions of workers, potentially costing $5 billion per day. You guys, when we divide 45,000 employees into $5 billion, that would give them a wage increase of over $110,000 a year. So I'm sitting back and I'm asking myself, what the heck is going on? Now, what Mitch Vexler and I are going to do today is really try to pinpoint and hone in on what the actual problem really is. We're going to start the first segment telling you guys exactly what they want. We'll talk about the CEO bonuses. We'll talk about the overwhelming amount of taxes for these ports. Now, our second segment, we're going to go into the localized ripple effects by looking at only the Port of Houston, and I'm going to show you guys that. You guys like what he has to say, come on over to his channel right here on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Mass nationwide nurse layoffs, healthcare system collapse.
Buddy Special Finances, this is my buddy right here. And you guys, we are doing a video to accompany this video on his channel with Stewart Healthcare. So when you're done watching this, definitely go over to his channel and check that out. And before I begin and before we jump into these recent...
And I'm not going to make a lot of these videos play. I'm just showing you, giving you a brief summary of what's going on over there in America concerning job losses, store closures, in full economical collapse.
Layoffs, Jack, how are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent, Travis. Thank you again for having me on, and thanks for telling me about this story. We found some cool stuff while we were digging around in this yesterday.
Yes, some interesting questions like birth rates, senior healthcare expenses. I thought it was greed, corruption, fraud. I mean, what the heck is going on? Let's look at a few of these headlines announcing thousands of layoffs. Struggling CarePoint Health could lay off 2,600 employees, which is obviously a ton of employees. When we go down, because I'm more interested on why the layoffs, but a little bit of a backstory. CarePoint Health could lay off more than 2,600 employees effective December 12th, according to notices filed with New Jersey regulators this week. The proposed cuts would impact workers across 3 different hospitals. So this is impacting 3 hospitals, 859 workers at the Bayonne Medical Center, 843 workers from the Christ Hospital in Jersey City, and 900 workers from the Hoboken University Medical Center. Now, a spokesperson for CarePoint said in a statement that the 3 local hospitals, and this is what I'm interested in, are not facing any imminent threat of closure, and no final decision regarding layoffs has been made at this time. Now, they go on to say essentially that the reason for these layoffs, Jack, is because of daunting financial challenges. In addition to that headline, this headline states Stewart Healthcare will lay off more than 1,200 workers in Massachusetts. The bankrupt health system will lay off workers at the end of the month as it prepares to close 2 hospitals in the state. So this one is noting hospital closures. One bullet point right here. News of the cuts come just a day after a federal court approved Stewart's plan to close the facilities, which Stewart said are losing money and have low patient volumes. Stewart attempted to find a buyer for the hospitals during a months-long marketing process. However, the system said it received no qualified bids for the properties. Before I go back to you, Jack, Texas Children's Hospital to lay off 1,000
workers. That is a massive amount of people, you guys. 5% of workforce. Couple of the bullet points here. Despite being a nonprofit, the renowned Houston-based, that's my local city, Houston-based hospital, which is affiliated with Baylor College of Medicine, has found itself in financially challenging situation. Full details about the financial impact have not been disclosed. Here's what has been announced. The hospital, which operates in 120 locations across Texas and globally with a primary presence in Houston, employs approximately 20,000 people. Now, Houston Children's Hospital has attributed the need for layoffs to a combination of factors like low patient volume, again, financial challenges, and number 3, delay in opening a new Austin campus. Jack, having read that, what do you believe some of these financial challenges and daunting financial obstacles? Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and mass tech layoffs are spreading across the nation, but not in India, as Cisco announces as of Friday that they have opened a brand new facility in India, creating more jobs in another country. We'll talk about that, as well as the CEO at Cisco making $34 million in bonuses. But we'll start the video off by talking about the biggest mass tech layoffs to date and what companies those were, and more importantly, what location were those layoffs made in. Now, we're going to end the video talking about the most recent mass tech layoffs as well as the most recent mass layoffs. And then Mitch Vexler, our community wizard and expert, is going to tie all of this together and explain to you guys how basically what's happening behind the scenes is a criminal enterprise being ran by people that we assume that we should trust. But municipalities like the state comptroller and the Central Appraisal District, and what they're doing, y'all, is robbing us of our future generational wealth and equity stripping the American consumer. In other words, you guys, we should be thriving in a country that we love, where we're here to support each other. Take a look at the biggest mass layoffs in the tech industry to date. So as of today, for 2024, 449 tech companies have started layoffs, totaling 137,566 employees. And again, you guys, that is for 2024. When we look at the top biggest tech layoffs, and this is since lockdowns, the company with the number 1 tech layoffs is actually Intel at 15,000 employees, or 15% of its workforce. And those layoffs, you guys, was actually in San Francisco Bay Area. And you're going to see a trend here in a second. Now, the number 2 layoffs actually come from Tesla at 14,000. That's 10%, and that is in Austin. Number 3 is Google with 12,000 people laid off, accounting for 6%, and that is in San Francisco Bay Area, California as well. Now, the number 4 is Meta, formerly known as Facebook, at 11,000, or 13% of their staff in the San Francisco Bay Area. And number 5 as well is Meta, or Facebook, at 10,000 people laid off in the San Francisco Bay Area. So far, I hope you guys are noticing a trend. Out of the top 5 top tech layoffs, 4 of them, guys, have been in the San Francisco Bay Area. But look at the next 3. The next 3 are all in Seattle, with number 6 being Microsoft, laying off 10,000 people, totaling 5% of its total workforce. And then Amazon laying off 10,000 people, totaling 3% of their workforce in Seattle. And then Amazon at 9,000 people. And again, you guys, that is in Seattle. So the highest concentration of mass layoffs are actually in San Francisco Bay Area and in Seattle. Mitch, I find it very interesting that the top layoffs for tech are in the same centralized area. So can you give us your thoughts on why you think that so many tech layoffs are happening? So you guys are going to get a great video today full of overwhelming value. And before I begin and get started, Mitch Vexler, sir, happy Monday, sir. Wells Fargo, exactly. Then I'm going to come back to you to get your insights. Wells Fargo, just depending on the data source, is the 3rd largest bank in America. Take a look here. First of all, you see September 23rd, their stock is down about 2%, Wells Fargo. But really what I wanted you guys to pay attention to is this is a massive employer. They have 226,000 employees right now. So it's important to know what's going on with huge, giant companies like this, because That's a lot of people. Now, when we go under the hood, here's what I want to show you guys, and trust me, I'm going to go deeply under the hood, and I'm going to show you guys a lot more than what this article is saying. Wells Fargo announces plans to lay off nearly 80 employees. This notice indicates layoffs will happen in waves beginning on Monday, September 23rd, which is today. Layoffs will happen in waves again beginning September 23rd. Here's the breakdown of layoffs. And what's interesting, Mitch, is when I added this together and I did the math for myself, it's actually a lot more than what they're saying. But here's the start of it right here, September 23rd, and all the way till November 18th. A total of 78 people will be laid off in November. And again, I'm going to show you that Wells Fargo is actually laying off a lot more people than what this says. The Iowa Warn Log shows the layoffs are the result of addendums to previous layoffs in order to include more employees, so it wasn't enough. Now, I was interested to see what Wells Fargo had to say about why they're doing these layoffs, and they gave us pretty much nothing. Take a listen, Mitch. We regularly review and adjust staffing and the meetings.
But as I sure said, nobody is safe, you know? Listen again.
According to a new study from MarketWatch, a full 70% of employees are bracing for layoffs in some way.
Superintendents across the state say if they don't get more money from the state, layoffs and massive cuts are the next step.
Given our dire financial situation, this has probably been the worst budget I've had to do as a superintendent.
Despite headlines from MarketWatch like this that say jobless claims inch up to 230,000, but still no sign of rising layoffs, which is absolute nonsense. And I'm going to show you guys today a Challenger report that's stating month over month there are 193% more job cuts month over month in August. And in addition to that, for education job cuts, it has increased 222% year over year. So today we're going to ask questions like, why is that happening? What can we do about it, if anything? And we're going to go deep under the hood. I got some great stuff lined up from Mitch. Mitch is going to blow you guys away with some of the math he's done. And before I continue, before we go into the the market's not even open yet. Happy Friday, sir. The market's not even open. The market came out in September, and this states, with COVID-19 relief gone, teachers are losing their jobs. It's a blow to diversity. And I'm only going to read a couple paragraphs here, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. Now,
So they're supposed to get the point by now. So this is Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1. It says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And the evil days, we're literally in these times, yo. We're in the beginning stages, which scripture referred to as the beginning of sorrows. While the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the star be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the keepers of the house represent these economists, those who are watch the trend of society, like the stock markets, you know, and the affairs and the business of the country, yo, or the economy a progress. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. The grinder represent the jobs, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, meaning them not see no open sight, yo, no light at the end of the tunnel. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And these are the times that we're in now, in which these doors are being shut in the streets. And I have a lot more closures and a lot more job losses. So I was just showing you what's taking place over there in Mr. Babylon the Great, yo. And Yahweh Shai foretold that he was going to do this, yo. So we don't want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hawashai, Ba'ashem Kodash, Shalom.